taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut, season off top, you stop breathing.
And then, we had the card that everybody was talking about. Everybody wanted to see the return of Jared Big Baby Anderson. You know what I'm saying? Who's been doing the rounds lately. We've been hearing a lot of more stuff that we don't like from, him. He's been more in the news for, I don't want to be boxing for much longer. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it, yada, yada. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to make money, feed my family. I don't want to be more than 27. So, I mean, like, the whole build up to this is how, like, that whole little thing, his lack of love for boxing, which is
how quick I could get out the game.
Yeah, which
I felt like that's what he was on too.
That's not a very good build up for a fight because
because this is the thing, like, he's what, 23, 24?
23.
He's 23. Like, if he would have said, yo, I want to get out about by 30, I could understand that. You got all your 30s ahead of you, 30 years old, heavyweight. You're still 30, young.
30,
that gives you 7 years. Like, you could have a career in 7 years. Like, we've seen people's career come and go in 7 years, twice.
Yeah.
So, but at 23, talking about you trying to be done by 27,
insane. That's why.
In this era, when niggas is fighting once and twice a year.
Yep, exactly.
If you fight
twice,
where if you fight 3 times a year, people are like ready to give you the keys to the city and shit.
This turned me a little off on him, pause, because
it did.
I was never the highest on him. Like I thought he was good athletic, but he gets hit a lot. I told y'all, I think he's a little too small for heavyweight. Really,
I don't think he's small. See, I just
wait. What?
I don't think he's 6'4". He's not small.
Jared Anderson. Wait.
In the post, they were talking about him maybe being too short. 6'7" is kind of the standard for a heavyweight now. This day and age. I'm just saying.
Who the fuck says that stupid shit?
I'm saying that's a drawback to him. There's bigger heavyweights. Charles Martin was.
The motherfucker is 6'4", nigga. Like, do you know how tall 6'4" is?
I'm just saying there's taller guys at heavyweight than him. What
is that? Of course, 6'4" isn't like the.
I'm saying, is that not true?
But you act like he's.
Of course.
You act like
that could be a disadvantage. That's all I'm saying. That could be.
That's not a disadvantage. Like, nigga, 6'4" is tall enough to give you enough diplomatic strategy against anybody. 6'4" is actually the perfect height for heavyweight.
Charles Martin was tall, clearly taller, than him.
6'4", 6'5".
Charles Martin is 6'5", nigga. Jeez, he's a clear inch.
I'm saying he's not the biggest heavyweight. That's all I'm trying to say.
He's not the biggest, but he's not the smallest. He's bigger than Andy Ruiz. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's probably a little taller than Usyk too. I mean, I'm just saying,
That's all I'm saying. Like,
he's just named like 2 heavyweights in the top 5.
It can play a role.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it could be a role.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and I just don't agree. I think Jared is big enough for him.
It's not the end all be all. It's not the end all be all.
More, bro. Like,
we don't need to talk about like that. We don't need to go on his size. He's fine. He's fine for heavyweight. Stop.
Yeah.
So, saying he was coming in.
So many niggas. Oh God, I'm sorry, Pilot. God damn, nigga. Like, I'm sorry, King P. Keep going. Just, go ahead. I was still kind of buzzed by that.
Yeah. So he came in, saying he was fighting Charles Martin. I mean, and Charles Martin was a replacement, but not like a replacement. Like, he got up off the couch and just like, okay, short week's notice. He's been in the gym for like 11 months. He was supposed to be on the Ryan Garcia card, on the Tank Ryan card. Then he wasn't. Then he was supposed to be on the Spence Crawford card against Gergi Hogvanesian, and then he got injured, so Jared had no opponent. And then Charles had no opponent. And then Jared had no opponent because his opponent got hurt too. So he got the call and he was ready. So dude was in shape. Dude was like, he was
hungry.
coming in there. He's coming in there hungry. So we was gonna see what we was gonna get. And Charles Martin, whatever you want to think about, whatever people want to say about Charles Martin at that point is still the toughest test that Jared has fought. Like, Jared's never fought anybody on that level of Charles Martin. That's been a champion and been in there with top fighters.
He gave Luis Ortiz all he could fucking handle in his last fight.
Until that old man's strength kicked in at the end.
And it barely kicked in. It was like one of those lawnmowers where you're like, ring, ring, ring. Like, you had to damn hold that shit for like 3-4 seconds to get that shit started. So, and that's the thing I just want to touch on. Like, niggas just was really like we gotta start respecting motherfuckers in the game, yo. Like, a lot of people was really sitting on Charles Martin and not putting the respect on his name, so that's why they're really jumping out the window, because they thought Jared Anderson was supposed to just moonwalk over this dude, and Charles Martin could fight. Like, he got a good left. He throws it. Like, yeah, he has some things he needs to work on. He doesn't be aggressive enough sometimes and shit, but come on, like King P said, he was always going to be his greatest test at this point.
And Android says, Anderson is still the truth, just has to clean up a bit. At 23, he can't be perfect every fight, and people were treating Martin like he is a complete scrub. He clearly wanted to take Jared late. Martin has better boxing IQ than people think. I agree.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah, shouts out and respect to Charles Martin, because most of us thought he'd get knocked out. You know what I mean?
But
you motherfuckers thought he'd get knocked out.
But before we get to that, I just want to say two things. One, that heavyweight card that opened up the card, Makhmudov, that was so slop. That was the sloppiest 2 rounds I've seen in
ever.
It was fun to watch. Come on.
No, it fucking wasn't. No, it fucking wasn't. Not when you niggas is complaining about Cruz Desert Marshall fight, and that shit was in 2 rounds. It was more rougher than that whole fight for 10 rounds. That was just ugly, sloppy. I'm thinking
it looked like two niggas did a sign-in sheet to be like, all right, the first 2 people that sign up get to fight type shit.
Makhmudov is a somewhat rated heavyweight in a sense, I guess.
Both of them were very sloppy.
Awful. I don't care to see neither one of them niggas again.
It's like they were tired before they started fighting. Like, how the fuck does that even happen?
The Nigerian dude
they got tired on the ring walk.
Android said that was embarrassing to have us as an opener on ESPN.
I was shocked that opening.
Damn right.
Yeah, always say the grace. Abdullah was in the co-main. That's kind of
and I'll get to that.
I mean, it's good. It's good television. It makes for good television.
I'm just glad it ended in 2 rounds, because we didn't need to see more than 2 rounds of that bullshit ass fight.
Well,
Makhmudov rat punching nonstop. I was going to say, Makhmudov rat punches are worse.
Makhmudov has terrible punch placement and accuracy. Guy had 0 aim. Yeah, it looked like it. Dude was just trying to just throw the widest right hand, hoping, and both of them were throwing wide right hands, and they're just bumping into each other. Nobody's landing clean. They're pushing off each other.
That shit was horrible. You know what they look like? What's that shit on the Family Guy where they be doing the cut scenes and it be like those blow up dolls that be blowing in the wind?
Oh my goodness! No,
that's what they look like. Cause how y'all niggas is missing each other when y'all literally chest to chest right in front of each other, and y'all niggas is literally punching like this all over the place, like you know back in the day with the Dragon Ball Z fights and these niggas would be like real quick.
Yeah.
And that should be looking cool. It's like, I felt like this was like the horrible poor man's version of that shit.
Yes,
like this shit was on crack rock like this.
Yes, it was horrible. It was horrible. I don't want to give this.
You need to command your ass out of this way.
I don't want to give this any more burn than it has to. I'll say.
Yeah. Y'all niggas do better.
Yeah, I'll say second off. Shout out to Abdullah Mason. I like him as a young prospect. He shows a lot of promise, and he got a veteran out of there early. So we didn't need to see that anymore. You know what I'm saying? 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he has a lot of potential. So I'm interested.
Wait. He looked definitely better than that motherfucking that Ben Whitaker nigga on that damn Oh my God. I'm sorry, yo. I got quick that nigga, yo, he's a KO waiting to happen.
No, I'm saying if y'all saw Dante Benjamin, the guy at 175 that knocked out that dude earlier on the card, he beat Whitaker, same weight class. Dante Benjamin would body that dude.
Yeah. Whitaker played for his full 2 months.
Whitaker's
he's got a nice little slick style. I guess he's a showman, but he didn't get chin.
He's too much of a showman.
He didn't get chin suit. He definitely get chin suit.
That's fake slick. That's that fake slick stuff.
Fake Slick, yeah.
He's
Because if it was real Slick, he would have fucking bodied dude. You're not gonna go the whole distance with this dude.
He would have got the dude out of there for sure.
He's a highlight reel waiting to happen. Somebody's gonna make him
get chin bad.
Because he was still getting caught by that dude. It's just that dude. If that dude was a little more aggressive or had a harder punch,
if that dude was better.
If he was a little better, Shit, if he was fighting the niggas that Campbell Hatton was fighting.
The thing is, I don't know. Abdul, I guess now he's with Jay Prince because I thought he wouldn't get the same, pub, as Muratalla and Muratalla and Keyshawn, same weight class. But now if he's with Jay Prince, he might be getting a true push because he co-mained a 6-rounder. Fucking 6-round co-main is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because he's also from the area, so it makes sense.
Yeah, from the area. Well, all those prospects are from the area.
He's a hometown guy. So I understood it. So you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Abdullah Mason. He's been active. So I want to see him again soon. So
who do y'all think's nicer, Abdullah Mason or Tiger Johnson?
I've been more impressed with Abdullah so far. But Abdullah's still young. So he hasn't got as far as Tiger. And I like Tiger, but Tiger, there are times where I feel like Tiger leaves a lot on the table. He could have stopped dude yesterday.
He should have stopped dude. That dude's face was fucked up. He should have stopped dude. Yeah.
So he's too hittable, and like I said, I like him. I still think
he can move. He's got a little bit of power, but he don't. Yeah, he don't. Yeah.
You just can't put it all
These
together.
niggas got to start watching some prime Trinidad Broner. Some niggas who used to finish people when they was hurt.
When they was hurt, yeah.
Yeah. So, but
hard to be Tito. Tito's a legend, though. That's tough.
But let's get into the main event. The hometown crowd was here for the kid, Jared Anderson. They came out with his little bulldog because his high school mascot. So I always look to see what he comes out with because he always comes out.
That was dope. That was dope. That was pretty dope.
He always come out with some kind of costume. So I'm just wondering if it's either cringeworthy or it's kind of cool. This time he wasn't cringeworthy, like coming out in a damn a prison jacket and handcuffs and stuff like that. I'm sorry, that's still to this day kind of turns it still irks me, but it is what it is.
So all right, so since Jared Anderson only won 4 or 5 more fights, who else could those fights be?
I have no idea.
I mean, he's at 27. That he had his career got is a kitchen with the pot of rice on the stove.
Oh my goodness! But listen, from the fight that he showed yesterday against Charles Martin, I saw some good things, and I saw some bad things, and I saw some downright ugly things.
Fuck it, let's go. Let's round and robin. Good, the bad, the ugly. What's your good?
I think the good was when he decided to apply. At times he showed very good IQ because usually Jared Anderson comes in and he throws a lot. He likes to be pressure, throws high octave punches, but I think he realized that he's going against a guy that can counter him, that can punch hard, so he didn't want to just bull rush into him and go into something hard and hurt himself.
Pause.
So pause. So he measured the distance. He threw some punches here and there, darted in, darted out, did nice body work. Those were some good things that I saw from him. Some bad things that I saw from him. So let's get the bad things I saw from him. He straight pulls back a lot.
He's been doing it forever. He needs to stop doing that. He needs to stop that.
He would come in, and then when he would come out, he would just pull straight back, and it was just.
They say he watched a lot of Floyd. That's why. That's terrible.
But you're not doing what Floyd.
Nigga, I don't know. Floyd don't even do that. So who was he watching? Floyd.
Canelo. Floyd versus Canelo or some shit.
Nah, not even. I'm talking about was it? It was Lloyd Mayweather. Lloyd Merriweather. Lloyd Merriweather Jr. Yeah, you must have been watching that nigga, cause I seen Floyd whole career. I ain't never seen him pull back like that.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's more ugly than bad. Honestly, I'll put that in the uglies because it was.
He was doing it. But he's been doing that. But eventually, he's gonna catch up to him. And someone with long reach.
I mean, it caught up to him.
The other bad thing was I felt like there were a lot of times where he had advantages on Charles Martin that he didn't know how to take advantage of. He was going back and forth between switching stances, which is cool, but he had a lot of openings with Charles that he just didn't. I don't know if he didn't see it or
in southpaw. He might have stayed southpaw when he went southpaw. I don't know.
There were times where Charles was open for more body punching. He could have mixed it up more to the body and then going to the head, and like he left some more body. Like he could have done to the body more, in my opinion.
Do y'all see him get hurt by that body shot? Like in the 8th round, y'all see him when he got kind of hurt by that body shot?
Yeah, like he was doing well to the body. And like I said, when he was exchanging with him, it was fine. And when he would dig to the body, but then he just wouldn't commit to it. He was just tagging a little bit here, tap, tap.
I think he was getting unsure of himself because he was trying to make the rounds. Because remember, he ain't never been past, 6?
Yep. And then, like, when he was in southpaw stance, Charles was open for the straight left every time, and he just would not take it. Jared would not take it. He would not pull the trigger. And even, like, Bradley was making a point of that. Like, Charles was open for it, pull the trigger, but he would freeze up, like, not take it. And I think
he didn't want to trade lefts.
Exactly, because he didn't want to get clipped with a big punch and get hurt. And this is where it turns into the really ugly, where he just got clipped. That 5th round, he got clipped multiple times, and the way he reacted to those punches was not good. It wasn't just the fact that he got clipped. Fighters get clipped. It happens. But his reaction to those clips showed me, like, he did not react well to that. Like, he felt like he got shook. He almost was like now on the edge, where he's just like almost like he's gonna have to fight for dear life. Like, he reacted bad to every big punch that Charles drew at him, and he couldn't get out the way of anything. He's getting hit more and more. It was like, okay, either hold or spit or just pivot around. Like, dude would go straight back every time. It was all you're doing is now just you're getting lined up again for another left shot or another right.
The thing is, he gives, like, Jared Anderson gives the impression, like, when he fights, like, he's another one of those, like, my talent size kind of lets me get away with everything. He probably intimidates people with the size, so I don't think, like, he gets like people really attack him enough. Like, Charles Martin was the first person to really, like, attack him. And he ain't even all right, just go all about, like, all out attack. He boxed. He set it up with boxing. Then he was legit attacking him, where I don't think Martin's ever had. I'm sorry, not Martin. I don't think Anderson really had someone really attack him trying to win.
Shout out to Android, and shout out to Gusto supporting the Ago as always. Salute Gusto, appreciate you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Salute. And Android.
Android. Honestly, dude, I agree. Like, honestly, I think Anderson just came out and wanted to go off of talent alone, and that's how he's like he could be like a Anthony Joshua 2.0. Like, he has the same stance, and
he's way more athletic. Joshua was always real.
I'm like, nigga, hear me out. Like, they're from the same mold of fighter. They got the same style, basically. He's just a more athletic version, and Joshua's a bigger puncher.
I agree. I do. You know, I get it. Anderson was going off talent alone, but like him trying to out talent, like just going in there, just out talenting Charles, he left a lot on the table, and he put himself in positions where he got hurt for it.
He got knocked off the table.
Yes. So it was like, and it was just like you could see. MC Gusto said Jared Anderson got about 3 years left in the game. He got his family out of Toledo, and they are straight. Would love to know how bad that Jay Prince contract is. I don't know how bad that Jay Prince
it's
contract is.
It's bad if you're talking. You're 23 and you already want to quit boxing by 27. Like, and I know the whole Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Jake Paul, like all the misfit boxing, all that shit getting so much notoriety right now, and people get really paid. But dude, like, hey man, like, you just gonna have to just like hold your nuts, nigga. Like, bro, like you can't just put a fucking expiration date like that. You just can't.
Yeah, it's whack. It's whack, and it sucks because
you'll fuck around and jinx yourself.
He's our only young American prospender, whatever you want to call him. Contender.
I mean,
he's
a contender
only one I
now,
can think
bro.
of. I can go on BoxRec and try to search, fighter by. American. I can't find one. I bet you can find one.
At this rate, I'm gonna have to just put some more stock in Jeremiah Milton and hope that cashes out.
No, I don't want.
Yo, real fucking talk. Like, I honestly like. And you know what? On the interview last year we had with him, and we definitely got to have him back. We talked about how he said he would be ready for Jared Anderson by his 10th fight, and we talked about that. Like, y'all
just
go
might
back
be.
to the interview.
He just might be. Like,
And honestly, he just might fucking be. Like, I honestly think I'm putting these niggas' names together. Jeremiah Milton and Jared Anderson, like they right here. Like, last year, it really seemed like Anderson was really ahead of dude like that. Like, and we talked about it.
And Gusto, Torres, I forgot about Torres. That's another one. There, you could put some stock in the American heavyweight in Torres.
Yeah,
Richard
he had one of the best uppercuts of the year.
Yep. So earlier. I mean, I might have to take some stock out of Jared and put a little bit of stock. Or
lay that stock. We might have to distribute that stock. Like,
exactly.
Give a little bit more to Milton.
I think what bothered me was at the end, at the end of the 8th round, to me, it seemed like Martin was fighting a good fight, but he was starting to get tired. And it was like, okay, let me see coming into the 9th round if Jared can put in the right effort to get him out of there. If he just he could have switched up, just started jabbing to the body, and then he could have just the left hook was there, the right hand was there to hit Charles with, and he just wouldn't. He didn't know how to put anything together to really take it to Charles and get him out of there.
He had a nice three-piece, but he should have had more. There was one sequence where he had a beautiful three-piece, but he
and honestly, one of the things was like for him, like a lot of, to me, maybe it was just me, but I noticed a lot of Jared's punches were very slappy. Like he was throwing hooks.
Yeah.
He was throwing hooks.
The knockdown was.
Yeah, they were slappy, right? Yeah, I know what you mean. They were like coming like.
I remember there was one punch where there was one right hook that he threw that he didn't even turn it all the way over. If he had turned it all the way over, Charles would have been knocked down, if not knocked out.
What do y'all think of that?
Because he's supposed to be landing. You see, you're supposed to be landing with like right here. A lot of these dudes, and we talked about Bradley with this, and Clarissa Shields with. They land with this part, which that's cool, but it ain't the same as getting hit with motherfucking 2 solid knuckles and shit. So
I don't know why he was
the difference.
Here. And real quick, shout out to Andrew. I think since ESPN signed Jalalov, that could be his rival down the line, maybe. But if you want to box long enough, you know what I'm saying? You gotta build it up.
Jalalov looks real good. I'll say that.
I don't think Makhmadov's kind of a meme. I don't think he's gonna.
Jalalov is very talented. So now that he's signed to Top Rank, we'll see how they move.
Yeah, you can see that happening.
But see, you got to really move Anderson now because you can't go backwards now. Anderson, you got to keep going for you.
Is Takama backwards fight? Is Carlos Takama backwards fight?
It's the same. It's a slight.
Wait, hold up. Takam?
Yeah.
You realize Takam is giving some young fighters some tough fights.
He beat Yoka. Yeah.
I'm saying like this.
I watched boxing.
Takam is
he beat Yoka a couple months ago. He beat Yoka like in March.
Stature-wise, is not a better fight than Charles Martin, but it falls in that same category as like, hey, we got a veteran dude who could bring some things to the table that could test Anderson and see if he could. It's not a backward. It's a lateral fight.
Kind of lateral. It's just
which isn't bad because this is the thing. Jared Anderson didn't look good enough to where he's above another lateral fight right now.
Right now, he's 23, and that's the thing. I mean, I know he's getting hype. It was a hometown fight, but he's 23. But then again, he wants to get out the game.
That nigga's rushing his career, not us. This motherfucker talking about getting out at 27.
some of those. I mean, also the curse of the hometown fight. You know how it is with these hometown fights. These guys just don't look good in there.
Hey, you're not on the level you think you are. If hometown fights is really whooping your ass like that.
Ever since J-Rock,
let me make this clear. Let me just make this clear to those, because I've had people, try to counter me with these points that didn't make any sense. Because I'll say a lot of these fighters having issues with their hometown fights. People will bring up, well, what about Tio? What about Crawford? Listen, let me make this clear. I'm not talking about guys like Crawford. Crawford built his career. He came up fighting in his
Crawfords and the Cottos, they on another level. They're
even
echelon.
Spence.
Listen,
Spence will get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not talking about a guy that built up his name fighting in his hometown and then branched out and then just came back. I'm talking about a guy that really was built elsewhere, and then when
has to come back. That's different. Because the nigga who builds up his hometown,
like J-Rock, ever since Julian Williams, when he lost to Rosario, it's been a bad luck for the most part for hometown fights. I feel like, you know what I'm saying.
So shout out to Gusto. Gusto said Anderson was exposed last night, but there are some heavyweights who are more interested than before. I said Takam early on Twitter. Takam, Walin, Ajagba, Kusumanu, Yoka, etc. Fringe 15 to 25 guys.
Yeah.
I won't say exposed though. That's going a little too far. Like,
well, hold on.
Exposed,
what grade?
He would have to be like Anderson would have had dropped and really lost like really kind of like squeeze his way to the finish line type.
Well, he got hurt in the last 5 seconds. He got rocked.
He did. Look. I think Martin won about at least 3-4 rounds. Like,
what would y'all give him a grade wise? Like, I said, it could be minus, maybe a C plus.
Yeah, Anderson got a C plus.
I gave him a C plus. C plus.
Okay, C plus. Yeah, C plus is.
And remember, I'm the nigga who said Martin was going to take him the distance. I said somebody might get dropped.
I want to see Charles again soon. I mean, he wasn't in shape all year because he had
I would. Android said I would chalk this up as Jared's Teofimo moment, a light version of that. He'll be back. We're talking Teofimo against Nakatani, because this was worse than the Teo Nakatani fight to me.
This is all on its own,
dude was hurt multiple times in that.
What y'all think of that 5th round when he lasted?
And he couldn't avoid the same fucking punch. We got on Josh Taylor about that. So no, Jared Anderson, Josh Taylor, y'all niggas need to watch film on how to avoid the straight left. Cause
what y'all think of that 5th round?
God damn.
Were y'all like?
No, I'm like, oh shit, he's hurt because he was clipped.
Martin won that round off of that, basically.
Yeah.
Gusto said,
and that round wasn't like a big dominating round for Anderson. When that last part came, it's like, oh shit.
Wait, he's talking. Tio Cambosos. No, we can't go that far now because Tio lost that fight. Whereas Jared won this fight. There were some holes in his game that were clearly shown. And Gusto said,
I agree with that, getting off track. Yeah.
Gusto said not exposed, but folks seen the holes and will be more eager than before. I agree with that.
I agree with that now. Yeah, definitely.
Especially now.
Especially if you're a southpaw, because he fought like a guy who's not used to southpaws, who just kind of want to use his talent, athleticism to lean away from the left instead of really trying to parry it or defend or block or counter it.
Yeah.
He just wants to kind of lean.
He's gonna eventually mismeasure that lean back and get dropped bad.
Yeah, no, he will.
Not eventually. He mismeasured it all night. Look,
it's gonna cost him. It's gonna be worse.
Charles Martin was doubling up on it.
It's gonna be worse eventually, and if you clean, you gotta stop doing that.
He's got to clean that up. And
imagine if Charles Martin had a right hook. Jared Anderson's done. Charles Martin didn't really throw right hooks that night.
Jared, see, that was the kind of fight that Jared basically said, I don't want to have this type of fight again. So, I mean, that's up to him, though. Like, he doesn't want to fight.
He still won like what, 8-7-3, 8-2?
Yeah, but if he's saying
he won 7-3.
No, but if he's saying that he don't want to have a type of fight like that, well, then that means you don't want tough fights. And that makes me wonder, well, you know what I'm saying, now when it gets tougher, how are you gonna react then? So you better clean up the holes in your game.
Nah, you don't want tough fights. Like, he got to fight better.
Exactly.
Because the way he sounds like he don't want to be dedicated. Like, that whole Roy Jones speech was powerful, but it's one of those things that we really shouldn't have to hear.
Yeah, that's not how this whole thing has not helped his stock. And you know what? Speaking of which, let me get to that. Because,
let's get to it.
You know what I'm saying? Ring Gang got a poll today, and it's about Jared. Did Jared Anderson's stock drop after last night's fight? Yes or no? It's very simple. We got 67 votes so far. Keep voting. And 52% said no, and 48% said yes. So
I said no.
It's very even. I thought his stock did drop.
I said no. I said
It
no.
dropped. It definitely dropped.
It's not a drastic drop, but it's a slight drop.
It's not a Josh Taylor drop. It's not a Fundora drop. It's not a Munguia drop. But it's a drop.
I think I said no, but it could have been a yes. Let me see though.
And Gusto said, what I learned last night, Charles Martin going to get paid well to be a thought out for these.
Shouts out. I want to see him again. I do want to see him again because he put a good performance. Yeah, he put a decent performance together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The thing with Charles is, and I shout out to Charles Martin, but it's like, we never know which Charles Martin we're getting. That's the thing with Charles.
Well, I mean, he was ready because he was supposed to be on the Ryan Garcia, Gervonta, and then
we've had. Charles has had some fights where he's laid some duds. Where
he looks out of shape. He looks out of shape. He looks fat. He was in great shape. This is the best shape I've seen him in years.
When he's on, he gives these guys trouble.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
They usually got to hang on or do some dig deep to win type shit. But
like,
Anderson's stock dropped because before I looked at him as like the seek and destroy type heavyweight. He was like the second coming of Anthony Joshua. Like, he was the Yankee version of Anthony Joshua. And now, like, he looks vulnerable. Like, if you stand up to him, like he would have like if that would have been Corey Sanders in there with him instead of Charles Martin, his shit gets fucking wrecked.
Okay, so let me ask this. I was thinking about this earlier. What if Jared Anderson's next fight was Jermaine Franklin? How would you feel about that?
Jermaine got
Ooh, that might be going. You know what? That's a winnable, losable fight for him.
I think he'll win that fight, but I
don't know. Whoa. That's like a 50-50. But I think it needs to happen.
All right. Well, let me throw a name out there because I just want to get.
Nah, we gotta talk about this one, motherfucker. Like, shit.
Gusto said thank you, Al Heyman. Yeah, Charles did say thank you.
You have to. You gotta think Al Heyman. Al Heyman or God. You gotta be top two. You gotta think Al Heyman, God, or your mom.
Al Heyman, the big homie.
Martin was extra motivated. Said he heard Jared was talking shit a few months well before he was a replacement. Well, that'll do it. So, but
yeah,
I'm saying like. Jared Anderson versus Jermaine Franklin is actually a really good fight.
That's a good fight because I think Anderson doesn't punch hard enough to really bother Franklin like that. So I don't think Franklin is going to be intimidated as much as he was.
Anderson,
and I don't think Franklin doesn't get intimidated, first of all, but he wasn't even gun shy against Joshua. I think he would get more aggressive with Anderson than he did with Joshua because Joshua was a bigger puncher and he was still firing counters right off of damn right hands off Joshua. So I might pick Franklin to beat Jared Anderson. We might get a Twitter poll on that one. That's a good matchup.
Android said
Franklin fights on the July 15th on the Alicia card, so we'll see Alicia card.
Android said Anderson would win. I've seen Franklin struggle with some low-level competition.
Yeah, I'd definitely pick Franklin. I'd pick Franklin for sure. I mean, not Franklin. I'd pick fucking.
But I mean, he struggled against low-level competition, but against higher-level competition, he's looked good. So
and he's gave him in my book, he beat Dylan White.
He did, and he gave Joshua a very tough fight.
And he gave Joshua a very tough fight. Like, we just saw a dude almost get knocked out by a nigga who Joshua dog walk.
I'm saying this guy now, she's fighting some jobber on the Alicia Bum card on the 15th, so I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna see how he looks first.
Yeah, we could revisit it because I want to see if Franklin keeps up the momentum. He doesn't get lazy, doesn't
I'm glad
train
but he's getting somebody who's 30-4 and a known.
Yeah.
Andrew, he definitely beat White. That there was no I still
that
can't
was a robbery for sure.
I still can't believe they didn't give that to him.
Because this is the thing, Franklin puts his punches together better than Charles Martin does. See, Charles Martin, he would land that left, straight left. No right hooks was coming afterwards. He would land the left uppercut. Nothing else would come afterwards. Like Franklin, he throws a comment. He lets his hands move more. He counters in combinations. I just think he'll be a little more proactive, especially if he able to clip Anderson.
Yep. Gusto said, "Don't put my folks in there with Franklin. No punchers yet. You're gonna have to fight him eventually. You're gonna have to fight some punchers. I mean, he fought one last night, so you know what I'm saying." But
yeah,
we'll see.
And I wouldn't even say Charles Martin is on the heavy spectrum when it comes to punchers. Like he's there, but at heavyweight, it goes more. Yeah,
he's got pop in his punches. So
yeah, definitely. Like no. I'm not saying. Look, if we're saying out of 1 through 10, I feel like Charles Martin's like a 7 on the punching scale at heavyweight.
Fair
maybe 7.5.
A 7's good. A 7's good. Yeah,
I would say a 7. A 7.
A 7's good because when you're looking at 8, an 8 to me, you're going into the damn
Shit, Anderson's an 8. Jared Anderson's an 8.
Yeah, Jared Anderson's an 8. Like Chris Arreola 8, like Stavern 8, like you're going into Joyce 8, like motherfuckers like that. Like,
well, y'all think Zhang's 8 or Zhang's a 9? Big Bang Zhang.
Zhang's a heavy puncher. Zhang is heavy.
He's like a 9. He's a strong 9. He's a 9.
Zhang is like an 8.
Zhang might be a 9 just off of
Zhang
power.
is a 9. Zhang is a 9 with the combination of his size and his he has power.
No, not Geary, not Guidry. Jason Tatum looking ass. Not that Guidry dude, man.
When you get Anderson versus Yoko or Guidry, don't be surprised.
Oh Lord, nah.
Oh,
but see, that's the thing. Then okay, then Jared Anderson's going to be boxing until he's 35.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if that's what you want to do, but if look, you either go after the Franklin or you go after a Wardley. I think he needs to fight a younger, hungry guy. Like, so that's why I'm looking at those names. Charles Martin was good, but you can't go if you take a lateral fight. The what's that shit Pilot said? Takam is a good lateral fight.
How about
after that, you gotta go to Franklin and then.
How about the Makhmadov dude? The dude open. How about do that open to Makhmadov?
Oh no! I don't want to see that motherfucker on my TV. No, not fighting like that. Nah. Like I feel like we might get like an accidental head clash or some bullshit. Like no.
Yeah, that sounds like that fight would end off some head clash shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like you fight that. Like your fight looks that bad, and it's like you kind of like ruined it.
Be realistic, because I want to see Wardley. How about a Jogba versus Big Baby?
It's not bad. Franklin's a better fight.
See, because the Jogba fights on Top Rank, basically, so you know.
No, it's not bad, but this is the thing. Like, a Jogba has to he has the size, the strength, the power. He has everything.
Which Jogba would we be getting? That's the thing.
Yeah, there you go. Like. Y'all niggas was barely wanting to roll the dice on Charles Martin. Now we gotta roll the dice on Jogba. Like, if he's not aggressive, that fight makes no sense. Like literally, like if he's not aggressive, fight makes no sense.
If we're gonna get the Jogba that fought Frank Sanchez, I'll pass. Thank you.
I hard fucking pass on that. Like, that's why I felt like. If it's a job, like if I had to choose, okay, if you had to choose a job or a Franklin for his next fight, which one you going?
Franklin. I know what I'm getting out of Franklin.
Same here. Pilot.
Well, come again?
Pause.
Which would you choose? would you rather Jared fight Franklin or a Jogba next? If it were
I mean, realistic. Yeah.
No, nigga, you not realistically. Like your personal preference.
I'd rather see the Franklin fight. The Franklin fight would be better. The Franklin fight.
The Franklin fight. Oh, okay, yeah.
There we go.
But I feel like a Jogba, since he has power, is more of a threat.
Yeah, but power that doesn't throw is like.
I know. Yeah. He probably shell up from the start. You're right. Yeah. Franklin's a better litmus test, you could say.
Yeah.
Let me see. Gusto said he wants 2 more fights this year. They ain't nearly gonna be Charles Martin level dudes.
Yeah. I know y'all think Makhmadov's a joke for Android. I know
This nigga gonna be fighting until he's 40.
But he is, Makhmadov's already fought Takam. Takam kind of exposed Makhmadov, so they are moving Makhmadov like he's a top prospect, to be honest.
Gusto said, give me Anderson versus dude that left the ring when he faced that left the ring. What's his name? Harper? What's his name? Curtis Harper, I think that was?
Yeah, Curtis Harper.
Yeah.
He beat a tall undefeated French dude, but he already got beat up bad a couple of times after.
I mean, I wouldn't be against it.
We already know what Anderson does to like the jobber folk. Like, I'm good. Like,
he needs to fight, the Chisoros of the world. I mean, just like the lower level contenders. I feel like at this point.
Why mention Chisora when you can just mention the?
You really want Chisora to be hurt, like?
Yeah. You trying to turn him into like an '80s drug commercial?
Those lower level contenders, to calm it up. You know what I'm saying? Like this, do that.
I mean, Chisora hasn't looked
good. If he
good
fight twice this year, I feel like if the world was if it was a perfect world, we could get any fight we wanted. I would go for it to calm, and then finish the year off with Franklin.
That's cool. I'm cool with that.
That's cool with that. He said he wants to fight 2 more times. We'll see. You know how it goes, though.
Because next year, you're looking at cracking at the top 10. Like next year, like you got to be looking at the Dubois, the Joyces, the Zangs, Ruizes, Wilders, Usyks. Like,
is Anderson top 12?
Android said, I can bet they will serve up Steven Shaw next. A decent name in an American. After that last fight, fuck no. He doesn't deserve a fight with Big Baby.
That's worse than them 2 wild motherfuckers.
Yo, what y'all think about this? Ever since, I've been seeing in my family who don't watch boxing. Ever since the Canelo fight was announced, they've been talking about how it's the best boxing they've seen since like the beginning of whenever. Like this right now is the best boxing they've ever seen.
I mean, this year has been a great year for boxing.
Yeah,
but they say that based on the announcement of the Canelo fight. So why the fuck does that make that?
Because it's about like the 3rd or 4th good announcement you've heard about boxing this year.
This year has probably been the best year for boxing in a while. It surpassed 2019. I can't remember the last time we had a year this good. If we get all
the difference is, and this is why Pat's missing.
Jake Paul started
2019 had good fights, had the top names, but the fights became fight of the years. That hasn't happened this year yet.
But look,
I feel like these big names to start creating fight of the years. Like
last
Crawford
year,
Spence, I'm telling Crawford Spence needs to be a fight of the year. Canelo,
it's not gonna be.
Then it's hard to beat. Like it's like you get in the name value.
I can see
the fight's gonna end up being great.
I can see Charlo going toe for Canelo. That fight being more exciting than the Bud Spence fight. I can see that being more exciting, just based off of Charlo's, the way he moves, the way he acts. And once Canelo starts beating his ass, how he might react, like it's gonna be a great fight. Like Charlo not gonna bow down to Canelo. He like fuck Canelo. Who the fuck is Canelo?
Man, the hood's ruined for Charlo. Come on.
Well, we'll see about that.
The hood's ruined for Charlo, bro.
But yeah, this year great for boxing though. I just need to see some of these fights end up because I feel like only the mid-level niggas and the B fighters and the prospects and contenders have been giving us
so would you say this is the best year in the last decade?
It's the best year since 2019, but I can't judge it completely. The year has to end for me to say it's officially better.
The best 6 month start since the last decade.
Yeah. It's trending to be better than 2019.
This July is crazy. This July,
we might get a fight of the year next week. Let's jump
There we
into
go.
it.
The segue.
Yeah, exactly. Cause remember in 2019 we had Peterson and Yupinets fight of the year. Castano Lara was damn near was a good fucking fight.
I think 2023 is better though. I think 2023 already.
J-Rock Heard a fight of the year. Motherfucking Joshua Ruiz.
Great Taylor.
That's what I'm saying. You're like having like the biggest names in the division are giving you great fights.
Right.
We're having the big names.
Every weight class.
Yes. Like, dude, nigga, I was here 2019 was great year. Like, remember, what's his name? Ramirez Hooker, another great fight. Like, everybody, there was like too many fucking, like, y'all forget how many great fights 2019 had. And you were getting it from every level of the sport. Like, so yeah, almost there though, but you're right.